Greetings everyone, and welcome back to the Noctilucant channel. Today I wanted to talk about a rather obscure and more than likely forgotten project known as M.O.T.T, or Most of the Taciturn. Most of the Taciturn was a Chinese-based project which, as far as I know, existed between about 2005 to 2009. And during that period they released several CDs and splits and EPs, all of which were in the dark ambient, martial industrial, power electronics, and industrial style. The album from the project that I want to talk about is History of Iron and Blood, 1933 to 1945. Martial industrial, dark ambient, and somewhat experimental release, which is heavily centered around Nazi Germany and the evil that it created during its reign of terror. Martial industrial, in case you don't know, it is a subgenre of dark ambient music or even just industrial music with really heavy militant themes of war, and oftentimes World War II or World War I has been a central focus of this music. Although it is worth noting right from the get-go here that none of these projects, at least to my knowledge, are Nazi sympathizers or white supremacists or anything. These are projects that are just creating music centered around that time period of human history for art appreciation and just trying to create a mood that invokes the feelings and the mindset of that era of human history. So with that being said, what is the music on this recording like? Well, try and picture a dark ambient atmosphere with much more sort of military-like percussion, industrial noise, and lots of spoken samples. Just a very oppressive sort of nature to the music. It is it's music that's trying to recreate that atmosphere of Nazi Germany. It is, very oppressive, very dark sounding stuff. But, what makes it interesting, though, is that, we always got to stop and remember that, Nazi Germany happened. It was a real thing, 20 million some people died, and, it was, a threat that almost overtook all of Europe, and, had Hitler been successful, he may very well have taken over the whole world. And it's interesting when you stop and think about that, had he been successful with his, what he intended to do, the world we live in right now could be a totally different world. And I'm sure there are people out there that would have preferred that reality as opposed to the reality we currently live in. But, obviously things turn out differently, and Hitler, kind of lost at the end, and Germany lost, and, your history perhaps. Me personally, I'm someone that has always had a deep fascination with war, and in particular, World War II. It is, there's so many different aspects of that time period. It's just so fascinating. I could sit down and listen to documentaries or videos of that stuff for, hours and hours. And my whole life I've had a fascination. I've read several books. I've watched all kinds of documentaries on, modern day Netflix or whatever have you. I've read, had videos and DVDs in the past and stuff like that. A very, very fascinating time period, and unfortunately one that, I think in this day and age, is a hot topic. Everyone, all the extreme liberals want to, try to do with all these people have any sort of Nazi, symbols or any references to it. And, this is probably an item right here, even though it is, technically anti-Nazi and it's just being done for art appreciation. It is an item that I think if this project had taken off at some point in time, it would definitely be, on the blacklist and be something that, would not be easily to obtain. Martial industrial, as a genre I've always really liked, but to be totally fair, I haven't explored the genre as much as I wish I had. It's something I got into, probably 20 years ago already, but there's something really special about just the oppressive nature of it, the neoclassical aspects that are sometimes in it, the industrial noise, and, of course the samples from, World War II documentaries or what have you. It's a very interesting genre. It's one that I don't think a lot of people can necessarily appreciate, and it's one that thankfully has always remained very underground and I'm sure in some circles, especially the far right circles, I'm sure they probably take the music a lot more literal. Wherein I think almost all the projects are, again, just doing it to, create that atmosphere of Nazi Germany or whatever have you. Lots of different subject matters touched, but like I said, war and oppressive governments has often been a theme in, these martial industrial projects. Yours truly here has often listened to this music while doing research on Nazi Germany and, other such related topics. I feel like it complements that mood very well. I mean, this isn't not meditative music by any means. It's, it has that very, active and, militant nature to it, but, it complements that kind of stuff if you're into reading about history, and it's important, especially in this day and age, that people familiarize yourself with history. So history doesn't repeat itself, but we shall see, right? I'm always a little wondering about those kind of things. Okay, so on the front cover we have pretty simple affair here. Nothing. It says the band and the 1933-1945, and on the back cover, that. To the best of my knowledge, all the tracks are untitled because there is no track listing. Then inside we have some Nazis, and well, it's important to read off here too. Again, warning: the content of this album is non-political. It is only for art appreciation and not including any intent to disseminate Nazism. And it's very important, because a lot of people could, potentially buy this record and think, oh, this is Nazi, propaganda or whatever, but that's not the case. So then it also has this little insert here, which has a little bit of recording information, mixed and mastered by Bin Yang. I'm assuming that is the sole mastermind of this project. In the back it has, various facts about Nazi Germany and Hitler, and, just really interesting stuff. It was released by Dynar Productions, and a really cool record. I've held on this one for many years, always enjoyed it, and, I've always wanted to explore martial industrial music more, and maybe now that I've done this video I'll actually do that, but I do have quite a few behind me sitting here. I've always enjoyed it, but great stuff, man. I mean, this isn't necessarily, the pinnacle of the martial industrial genre, but a cool release, which I'm sure you can pick up for just a couple $2 on Discogs, or look it up on YouTube. Maybe someone's uploaded it. If not, maybe I should change that and do that, but yeah, man, cool stuff. It's M.O.T.T, most of the Taciturn, project that, as far as I know, existed from about 2006, 2009. They had a couple releases, and like a lot of projects, just kind of faded away. Well, thank you for joining me once again here on the Inner Sanctum. I hope you enjoyed this video. The drill: like, share, comment, rinse and repeat, and I will see you next time on the Inner Sanctum. My name is Joe. Alright, bye.